Did the Seattle Mariners do enough at the trade deadline? Let's talk about it. The 2024 trade deadline is officially over, and the Seattle Mariners were very, very active this year, which was a great sign to see. They started the stove off very hot with acquiring Randy Arozarena, followed by Yimi Garcia, Justin Turner, and another relief pitcher in JT. I don't know his last name. I'm not even going to try to say it because I know I'm going to say it wrong. So today I kind of just want to go over my opinion a little bit about the trade deadline and might say some things that some of you disagree with, which is totally fine. But again, these are my opinions and just what I think that the Mariners could have done a tad bit better. But starting off, this is definitely an extremely successful trade deadline for the Seattle Mariners, and honestly, they are probably one of the top 3 most improved teams after this deadline, if not the top AL team that improved. They definitely needed some help in the bullpen, and especially as we know on offense, they got one of the best 2 bats on the market, I would say, debatably, especially in Randy Arozarena, who will have for a little over 2 years. Justin Turner is unfortunately just a rental, as is Yimi Garcia, but they both will definitely help us this season without a doubt. Yimi Garcia has looked absolutely smooth up on the mound in his first 3 appearances with the Mariners. He gave up 1 hit, and that's it. So without a doubt, the Seattle Mariners are a much better team than they were before the deadline, and they definitely have a chance to go out and win the AL West. And one thing that worked in the Mariners' favor is the Astros and the Rangers really did not do too much, and if anything, nothing really mind-boggling. The Astros really overpaid for Kikuchi, as well as the Rangers got a backup catcher and Andrew Chafin. I believe that's all they did. They are getting much healthier as a team, though, so that will be happening soon, that they will be in full strength again. But hopefully the Mariners offense can keep doing what they're doing, because since acquiring Randy Arozarena on Thursday in the 5 games, and I know 3 of them have been against the White Sox, the Mariners have scored a total of 39 runs across those 5 games. While 12 games previously, it took them to score 40 runs in total. So it took them 12 games to score 40 previously to the 5 where they scored 39. And definitely when just watching this team, they seem much more comfortable and much more confident up there. And this is also a lineup without JP Crawford and Julio Rodriguez, who should be back soon. JP, we don't really know when he's going to be back, maybe early September, hopefully. Definitely feel as if this lineup can go out and win the playoffs, but this is kind of where I have a little bit of an issue with it, is as I sit here, I cannot confidently say to you that the Seattle Mariners are going to win the AL West. And you're probably saying that's with every sport. Like you're just going to guess and, anything can happen, which is definitely true. But in my mind, I feel like if they went out and got one more quality bat, I would sit here confidently and say with this pitching staff and with the bullpen that we have currently, they can win the AL West without a doubt. And I understand what a lot of you are saying. Jerry Dipoto worked with what the market was. It was a very high seller's market, which we know. Look at what the Astros had to pay to get Kikuchi for 2 months. And that is without a doubt true. But the one thing that a few of us Mariners creators and fans have a problem with is the matter that we have some of the best prospects in baseball. When you have this many top 100 prospects, I believe the Seattle Mariners are at 8, and some of you are going to say prospect rankings don't matter, which to me just can't be true, because prospect rankings are literally, if I'm going to go approach a trade and be like, hey, I'm going to give you, this is just a random number 8 prospect Cole Young and number 20 prospect Harry Ford, or I'm going to go and give you an unranked prospect in AA, which are you going to be more appealed to? So I don't necessarily believe that prospect rankings don't mean anything. Jackson Holliday isn't the number 1 prospect in baseball for nothing. That doesn't just mean nothing. So what I'm trying to say is that, JP is out for another little over a month probably, and they could have gone out and maybe gotten an IKF that was cheap, or maybe a Brian De La Cruz from the Marlins, who they only had to give up 2 prospects for, and the guy hits for a lot of power and hits for a pretty decent average. That could have definitely just pushed that lineup right over the edge. Because like I said, this lineup is very good and much improved with adding Randy and Justin Turner to it without a doubt, and I think Justin Turner is going to be our Carlos Santana from 2022 and really help lead this team to success. I guess what we're trying to say when we say that we kind of have an issue with it is that it just feels like it was just one bat short, just that one guy that could come in and just really elevate this lineup even more. Again, the one big thing in this conversation is that Yandy Diaz wasn't acquired by anyone. We knew as of yesterday that the Yankees, Mariners, and Astros were all in on talks for him, and then the final push was between the Astros and the Yankees, and that didn't go anywhere, which is great news for the Mariners that they don't have to deal with Yandy either being in the division or also just being in the AL in general on a competing team. Because in my mind, if Yandy did go to the Astros or the Yankees, that really isn't an excuse for the Mariners to be like, oh, we tried, when we know that we can outbid those teams without a doubt in terms of prospect capital. But he didn't go anywhere, so that's really no argument there. I'm very happy that he just stayed in Tampa, and hopefully they can maybe get him in the winter, because I do believe the Rays talked about moving him later on, just not right now. And the one big thing to note is that not a single top 100 prospect was traded to this deadline based on any team. And as we know, the Mariners take up a large portion of that, with 8% of the top 100 prospects being Seattle Mariners. So they did play a big role in terms of not selling off a single top 100 prospect. And for some of you that are sitting here, you know, being like, oh, you're being too picky or you're asking for too much. No, I'm very, very pleased with what the Seattle Mariners did this trade deadline. And honestly threw me off guard. They were being very aggressive from the start with getting Randy and then getting Yami Garcia, who's one of the top arms on the entire bullpen market. I would love to see him get extended at the end of the year if he continues the success that he's on. As we know, he is a very good pitcher, especially this year. But just kind of put this into perspective, and I know some of you are feeling it and don't really want to admit it, and that's fine. But it just kind of feels as if, and I think the Jage page over on X said it perfectly, it's like 4th and 3 from the 30-yard line. This is exactly his words. You're down 6 with 4 minutes to go, and you kick the field goal instead of going forward on 4th down. That's kind of what it feels like. It's like you were just right there. You were literally one trade away, 1, 2, or 3, maybe even 4 prospects or 2, 3 prospects in a major leaguer away from going out and just being such a dominant offensive lineup. And that's just what it feels like. And sure, some of you are saying, you know, you're asking for too much, blah, blah, blah. No, again, I think the Mariners did a fantastic job at this deadline, and they're without a doubt a better baseball team than they were before this deadline. It's just as a team who really hasn't made any deep playoff push in their 50-year existence, this felt like the perfect time. You got Randy Arozarena, who's going to come in and be a power bat, bring that swag that you thought, you know, Jazz may have brought. You have Justin Turner, who's going to be that Carlos Santana, a leader, a veteran, who's also a World Series champion. And then you add 2 great bullpen arms into the bullpen that has been struggling a little bit without a doubt. But you add that, and then you're just right there. Julio should be back soon. But, you know, some days you're going to have a guy like Mitch Garver, Jorge Polanco's heating up. Victor Robles is doing what he's doing, which is absolutely incredible. And then you just feel like you're just one bat away from being like, we are going to be AL West champions. That's kind of what it feels like. And I know some of you are still going to disagree with that, and that's totally fine. But that's just kind of what it feels like to some of us fans. But me personally, I hope I'm very wrong in the fact that we didn't need another bat, that Justin Turner, Randy, Julio, all these guys can lead us to that victory in the AL West that we all really hope can happen this season. And to be honest, the Seattle Mariners have been getting disrespected a little bit around the league from terms of how they're not maybe even legit. I posted a tweet yesterday saying Mad Dog Russo was talking about high heat and talking about the White Sox and how they really have just sucked and it's just been a total failure for them. And then he even mentioned, how the Mariners even beat them 3 times. Like, they're just getting very disrespected across the league, which is fine. It's expected when you're the worst offense but the best pitching staff in baseball. But hopefully they can turn that around. Like I said, they've scored 39 runs in the past 5 games. That's definitely turning it around. That's not going to be sustainable, but that's definitely something they can strive for and keep just improving on an offensive side. I will give a little bit of a shout out to Jerry and the front office for doing a great job at adding the offense that we needed to make this lineup better, adding the vibes, adding the right clubhouse fits like Justin Turner and Randy Arozarena that really just make this team better and take them to that next level. And you can even feel it, you know, even when you lose to the Red Sox 14-7, you still put up that 7th spot offensively. So that was just a really off pitching night, which, as we know, doesn't really happen that much, which is a good thing. But they put up 7 runs still. They didn't just fold, you know, lose 12-3 or whatever the score was at one point. So they're still improving offensively, and I hope they can just keep translating that. They have some tough series coming up against the Phillies, Yankees, Dodgers, I believe. So they're really going to have to show that and really show us that that offense has really improved. But definitely off to a great start since acquiring Randy Arozarena and Justin Turner had a 2 RBI night last night. So definitely those guys are off on the right foot with the Mariners, and hopefully they can just keep it going. But please let me know your guys' opinion down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about this front office and what they did at the deadline. Like I said, I believe they did a great job, especially handed the market they were given. It's really tough in the seller's market to go out and get some bats and get everything that you need, but they did a great job of getting us 2 offensive pieces and 2 back-of-the bullpen pieces, which will really, really help take us to an AL West championship. But otherwise, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I'm sure we'll be very active when this season gets down to crunch time, so stay tuned for those videos. But otherwise, I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.